Now you can enjoy the happiness of the holidays for the next 6 months by paying less and making more money by getting 180 days of picks from your favorite handicapper at a huge discount. This limited time Christmas special gives you a 90-day all access pass with a handicapper of your choice at WagerTalk.com, plus an additional 90 days of all access passes at no additional cost, an $849 value. This comes out to just under $5 per day, includes all sports released and any 5% best bets, normally priced at $35 each. Your access with your handicapper will cover NFL through the Super Bowl, college football through the national championship, any NBA and NHL action, including playoff games played during access and the start of the MLB season. Plus, if your handicapper does UFC, soccer, tennis, or any sport, yep, it's included. Happy holidays from everyone at WagerTalk.
Hey guys, welcome in and happy Friday. We got a little NBA action tonight. We're going to help break down for you here, see amongst all of the craziness going on in the world of sports if we can't find an edge or two tonight on the card. And we're going to do so here with, well, three very familiar faces here, including the NBA prop god. There he is, Andy Lang in the house, as is Tony Mejia. And across the pond, Kevin Dolan hanging with us here on the Friday edition of the NBA Tip-Off Show. And interesting lineup of games tonight, trying to navigate between the who's playing, who's not playing. It's already hard enough in the NBA with guys that somehow stubbed their toe on the way to the floor. But now COVID protocols and whatnot. So we'll give you the latest information that we have as of this right now, coming to you live, guys, about 4:15 Eastern time on a Friday. So let me go. Andy, let me start with you, my man. What do you got going on tonight and the weekend here? I understand we got quite a little deal going on for Andy Lang at WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm enjoying everyone getting COVID, but I feel like this is opening up some really good spots for us to cash in on some games with, guys getting ruled out on one team, but the other team being pretty good. I think we're going to go over at least one or two of those games. So I actually find opportunity in this. I think everyone should. And we got a 5% NFL play this weekend, NBA, of course. And I came to Wager Talk based on golf and NASCAR. Those are my two best sports, always have been. And golf starts up again in January. We got a special for $3.99. You get the rest of the 2022 golf season. And we're going to throw in all of my NASCAR picks all the way through that time frame. So you're getting a smoking deal on my two best sports. In a year and a half, I believe we're up 100 units. We've doubled bankrolls in that. So it's a great deal. It starts on January 6th, so get it before then. And very, very excited when golf season's right around the corner.
Yeah, great stuff there, guys. Make sure you visit Andy's page at WagerTalk.com. And he's got a point, Tony Mejia, because volatility in the market with these guys being sat, I mean, somebody else has got to play, and the prop market goes crazy. The lines go nuts. So there certainly are some opportunities here to grab a significant edge. What do you got locked and loaded for us here tonight heading into the weekend?
Well, locked and loaded, there is an NBA 5% play I let fly earlier this morning. I won't tell you what it is because I don't want to give anything away about it, but it's available. And so is a package, including all the other NBA plays I'll have. And this is what I've been doing. I actually detailed it to clients yesterday. I said, I'm going to wait as long as possible to give you picks. You're just going to have to trust me that I'll knock this out for you, because I'm not. Last night I go into a game and I lost this game too. It was a 4% play, and I'm on a really nice run with that. It's not in front of me right now, but it's pretty good. Go to my page and you'll see all my runs. And on 4%, I've been doing great. And I issued the over in the Rockets game against the Knicks, which hit, and the 76ers. I said I'm only playing if Embiid goes. Well, I had to wait right until up until tip off for Embiid to officially be in that starting lineup, and that's what we're going to have to do with a lot of these plays. You know who wasn't in that starting lineup? Last second, Tyrese Maxey. Cost me on FanDuel, cost me in this game because they ended up tying the game after falling behind early, and clearly they missed a playmaker like Maxey to take pressure off everybody else. So you're going to have to sit here, especially this will be the case all weekend, and in college as well, where they don't divulge information because they don't have to. You got to wait to see who's actually in the starting lineup, who's cleared to play, because we're in COVID variant mode right now, and clearly it's very transmissible. A lot of people are going to get it, and then they're going to be reinstituted back in the lineup once they catch 2 positive tests. We'll also get false positives in here. So we got a situation tonight where my best bet on the show is going to include Russell Westbrook out of nowhere. So we shall see how all of this unfolds, but it's an interesting time. Might as well get make it profitable, right?
Absolutely, guys. Yeah, listen, knowledge is power. The more of it that you have, the better chance of being a very profitable handicapper. So, Kevin, talk to me here, man. You've had an opportunity to look over the landscape. You got soccer. I mean, you've got everything going on, man. What's locked and loaded for you at WagerTalk.com?
We have a couple of plays up for this weekend, Joe. We had the Chargers last night, so that sucked. You should have seen me at 5:30 a.m. this morning, holding me coffee. I was dropping some amount of F-bombs. I thought the neighbours were going to call the cops. But bounced back with a nice winner this afternoon with Middle Tennessee. In the Bahamas Bowl there, we had them won outright as, plus 10.5 dogs. So that was nice. And we got an NFL triple pack already loaded up for Sunday. We got the LA Bowl up for tomorrow as well. We'll add some boxing. Huge boxing weekend ahead, NBA, rugby, and so on as the weekend wears on. And we've got a coupon code as well, all20, ALL20, and that gets you $20 off a 3-day all access pass until Monday. So pretty good deal right there, and looking forward to obviously breaking down some of these NBA games on today's show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Great opportunity, guys. Those all access passes, certainly the way to go as we head into this weekend. Let's head into our, we'll go to the contrarian play, but the breaking news here, guys, is that, in fact, Russell Westbrook has been cleared to play here tonight with the Lakers. So there was a lot of questions on whether or not he had already been ruled out. Now he's ruled back in. DeMar DeRozan appears to have been cleared as well for the Bulls when they get back in action on Sunday, it looks like. And the Orlando Magic are in a bit of a tight spot right now because they may not have enough players to play against the Miami Heat tonight. They're going to have to do one of those quick 10-day signings, the emergency signings that they're going to be allowed to do, or suit up an injured player, one or the other right now, because it looks like they've only got 7 to go here tonight. So there is some scrambling right now with the Orlando Magic taking on the Miami Heat. Let's take now a look at the contrarian play of the day, which will include who else? The hell no, Sacramento Kings here, as they are hosting the red hot guys, the Memphis Grizzlies, who are, no short of absolutely amazing what they've been able to do here without Ja Morant in the lineup. But the question is now, have we overvalued them? As the market may be taking this a step too far? They are 9-1 straight up, 8-2 against the number since he's gone down. But the Kings, what do you think here? I'll start with Andy Lang in this game. Andy, do you think maybe the Memphis Grizzly love is a little over the top? You willing to look at the Kings, and who do you like in the matchup for props?
Well, yeah, I can look at the Kings. I don't know who I'm going to be seeing out there tonight, but I can certainly look at them. I'm not getting in the way of the Grizzlies right now. They're playing great, and it's amazing what they've done without Ja Morant. And I'm not going to say they're better without him, but 9-10 with him, 9-1 without him. We're almost seeing something a little bit similar, not nearly as aggressive as this, but the Mavericks. Not terrible without Luka in the lineup at times. So you kind of wonder about some of these guys that dominate the ball, and maybe they might be holding some of these other players back. I don't know. It's a theory. So as far as this game, it's hard to find any Kings props out there, so we're just looking at the Grizzlies. I'll start with Steven Adams, over 8.5 rebounds. I figure that's a good play since Sacramento is going to be starting Tristan Thompson tonight. So I figure Adams probably has a pretty good advantage there. And then Dylan Brooks, he's been on fire. And so I'll take him over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's my favorite play in this one. Just lights out. scoring 21 or more points in 4 out of 5. He's also added rebounds and assists to the stat sheet recently. I just don't see a lot of defense being played in this game from Sacramento. I hope he gets there. I think a blowout situation could be possible if the Kings are as shorthanded as we think they're going to be come game time. But even if they are getting blown out, I think Dylan Brooks gets there. So over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists for me in this one.
So Davion Mitchell and Halliburton are listed as questionable. The big one is, of course, Rashawn Holmes, who's got that eye injury from getting poked out, I believe, in that game last week or the week prior there. So still no Rashawn Holmes, which is always a big loss for Sacramento here. But what do you think, Tony Mejia? Is this a overreaction here based upon the news coming out, or do you just like the Memphis Grizzlies to roll them over?
Well, I mean, I think the Grizzlies are playing solid basketball. I saw the Ja Morant tweet last night. I even liked it. He said, un par de días. I didn't know that Ja Morant was bilingual, but that means a couple of days. So I would assume that Ja Morant will be back soon so Andy Lang can stop talking about him and the Grizzlies being better without him. Look, they've done a fantastic job, obviously, holding the fort down while their superstar is on the mend. Jaren Jackson Jr., I think, has been the biggest beneficiary of it because he was my most improved player candidate, really started the season slowly. Probably won't win that award as a result because there's other guys that have now jumped to the top of that list. But the fact that he was able to be the go-to scorer and they got Brooks back midway through this Morant absence, and Desmond Bane has kept on going, and DeAnthony Melton's been such a deep force off the bench with his defense. Really just shows you the strength in numbers that Memphis has. And then from the Sacramento side of things, they're obviously dealing with COVID. Looks like De'Aaron Fox is a no-go. Halliburton's issue was, I believe, a back thing. So he's not on protocol, but Davion Mitchell is. Here's a lean that I would give out in terms of this game. Potentially the under, simply because if you do get Mitchell playing major minutes, he's a bulldog on defense, and then you potentially disrupt the Memphis defense that way. And if it is a lopsided result, you probably won't see a lot of garbage time scoring in that game. So, under could be a nice way to look at that contest.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, the league sources are saying what's happening with the guys like Russell Westbrook and DeRozan, by the way, and anybody else that's already been labeled in the COVID protocol is because they're increasing the testing. There are also obviously a lot of positive tests, but along comes with that, Kevin Dolan, an awful lot of false positives apparently. And they're saying the league is doing a very good job in identifying those false positives and getting guys cleared ASAP. So just to add more intrigue here on who's available and not available. But when you look at this game here tonight, is it just Memphis or not for you?
Too much intrigue for me overall, Joe, in terms of who's in and who's out. But I have to slightly disagree with the contrarian player tonight myself. If I was playing this, I'd be leaning towards the Memphis Grizzlies in this one as well. The Grizzlies absolutely crucified the Kings back on November 28th. They were 4-point home favourites in that one. No Ja Morant in that one either for the Grizzlies. And they didn't do particularly anything that set the world alight either. They shot under their season 3-point average in that game. Their offensive rebound production, fast break efficiency, and so on was all around their season average. So, I just think Memphis is a much, much better team here. Not to say the Kings can't cover this line, obviously. It's just a lean from me, but I'd personally need a few extra points in this one in order to get me to the window on the dog here. So, yeah, it's going to be a fade from me on the contrarian play tonight.
All right. So, there you go. Keeping in mind, guys, that number is already baked in with the lack of folks available here tonight for the Sacramento Kings, or maybe not, but certainly keep an eye out, guys, because things are changing fast here in the NBA. All right, contrarian play, looking at the Kings getting 7 over Memphis at home tonight. We're going to move on to a featured matchup, one in which a lot of people are going to be watching here. Golden State taking on the Boston Celtics here tonight. Golden State opens up as the favorite, 3.5. Total opened up at 214.5. And of course, this is the game now, the first game after Steph broke the record at Madison Square Garden. So they had a couple of days rest here. What does that mean for you, Andy Lang, from a prop betting perspective in this game here? You think Golden State can breathe and now get back to business?
Yeah, I would think so. I don't have anything on the side, but I know people tuning in were not expecting a Kevon Looney over and a Jason Tatum under from this segment, but here we go. I like Kevon Looney over 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Al Horford is out, and Looney is the only center right now for Golden State. His minutes have gone way up. He's played 24, 27, and 25 minutes last 3 games. He's gone over this total in 3 out of 4 games. And his floor on rebounds seems to be around 5. So if I'm guaranteed 5 rebounds in a game that he should be able to have a lot of room to move, and with the amount of minutes that he's playing, I like him there. And I'm just going to go Jason Tatum under 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think this number is too high. Warriors, just an amazing defensive team, number 1 in the league. They're 6th best guarding these forwards. And Tatum is probably going to get the Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green treatment and a lot of attention. Horford is out. Looks like Langford is starting at shooting guard, so Golden State can put a lot of attention on Tatum. The other players for Boston just have not been picking it up, and you look at how many games Tatum leads this team in scoring night after night after night. They're going up against a defense that is it's way too tough. I think he comes in under this 40.5. It's a little bit inflated. I don't think the books are totally taking into account how good the Warriors defense can be. So Looney over 13.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and Tatum under 40.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, so we did also get some information. Jordan Poole in the protocol was announced earlier for the Golden State Warriors. Otto Porter looks to be cleared, but again, that could change with the false positives. They did announce that after what they've seen from Klay Thompson in the G League, Tony, it won't be long before he's back on the court for the Golden State Warriors. Here we go. What do you think about this game tonight?
Just to talk about Klay Thompson for a second. Looks like no Klay on Christmas, which is kind of sucks, but very soon after that. So we're talking as soon as the 28th potentially. About this game tonight, one thing that stands out is Jordan Poole's not getting a lot of respect. And he certainly has been one of the most improved players in the entire NBA. Line hasn't budged with his announcement of not playing, and he's been a really reliable number 2 scorer next to Steph, even more so than Andrew Wiggins. Just because he punishes double teams, and obviously Steph commands so much attention that Jordan Poole has been able to get lots of looks. And then I'm looking right now to see if we have any Damian Lee props, and we do not. Ooh. So the market is not going to give us a gimme, a layup, because Lee's going to get those minutes. And if he plays well, between Damian Lee and Gary Payton II, they can replace Jordan Poole for a night enough to go ahead and win in Boston. So that would certainly be my lean. In fact, this is part of my package, so I'll just go ahead and give out this pick. I guess I'm not that affected either by Jordan Poole. I sound like a hypocrite now. So 3.5, yeah, you can still lay it even though Jordan Poole is out, and it would have been nice to have him. And the under is a nice play here because I do think both of these teams fundamentally are defensive teams. Jaylen Brown being back obviously helps the Boston offense, but he's also another guy that they can throw out there on Andrew Wiggins and Stephen from an athleticism standpoint is an upgrade from anything else that they would have had. So, between him and Marcus Smart being out there for 30-plus minutes, I think we'll get a grinder of a game, probably first to 100. So the under is probably the better play, and I would lean Golden State as well. Some of the pressure off the Steph Curry 3-point crowning achievement.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I mean, it's here come the Warriors, a little well rested here in Boston. Do you like them to get the job done here, Kevin Dole?
Honestly, Joe, I have no opinion on this game. I made this line right around 4, so you know where we're going. It's time to dig the flag out. There we go. And I got it right on the number, so I can't, right in the middle.
Yeah, well, it'll be an interesting. Yep, he gets his Swiss flag for that. He knows the routine. All right, then we're going to move on to our overtime matchup here, and I'll give you three guesses where we're going with this one. Well, let's just take a look at the board here, guys. And we've got Portland taking on Charlotte, a Charlotte team in which LaMelo has been cleared. It looks like he was in the morning shoot-around. Looks like he'll be back. And the Portland Trailblazers, well, yeah, they are what they are. 227.5 is what it opened at here. 229.5 is the current total. What do you think here, Kevin Dolan? Is this just another one of those over or not situations?
I think as well, Joe, we need a kind of a bugle segment for that Swiss flag. You know, when I raise it up, get some sound effects in there too. You know, but yeah, in terms of this game, it is really interesting because we saw Charlotte shoot absolutely lights out stuff against San Antonio on Wednesday night. You know, 59.3% from the floor. That was the highest shooting percentage out of any team in the league over last game sample size. They were 52.9% from beyond the arc as well. Again, highest in the league, and you know, over 14% more than the regular season average as well. So, you know, normally under those circumstances, that would get me looking hard towards the under here. Is generally, you know, teams aren't able to replicate those sort of shooting nights over consecutive games. But you know, Portland, on the other hand, they were awful against Memphis on Wednesday. I had the over 218 in that game. You know, and if you had told me prior to the game that Memphis were going to bag 213 points in that one, it needed just 105 from Portland, obviously, to push. I honestly might have boosted up to 5%. But, you know, Portland shooting in that one, 37.8% from the floor. That was second lowest in the league, just 28 points inside. 28 points inside the paint as well. I mean, yeah, that's Orlando. Orlando wouldn't be at that, you know. So it was absolutely brutal stuff. Especially as we needed just one more bucket in that game as well. So you know, we've got two teams here where you know I expect a dip off in performance from one offensively. You know, but in the other one, you know, at what stage does Portland's offense start to kick in here? You know, I got to look towards the under in this one. I do expect a cool off from Charlotte offensively tonight, as I said previously, and. You know, Portland have been struggling for a while in offense. You know, they're barely averaging 100 points per game over the last 7 starts. One of those starts was an overtime game as well. So, you know, will that change tonight? Possibly. But even if it does, we got the Charlotte offense likely cooling off here as well to fall back on. So it's got to be under for me in this one between the Hornets and Blazers.
Yeah, I mean, listen, against the number, they've been phenomenal in the month of December. I think they've played 7 games. They're 6-1 against the number. Andy Lang, Charlotte shooting lights out. But the funny part is they also ranked dead last in that time period in defensive efficiency. So that tends not to last long. Plus, they've been an underdog in just about every game this month. So something is going to give. Maybe a big night from Damian Lillard. How are you looking at this thing from a prop perspective?
Well, one thing to keep in mind, at least from the props market, is when you're looking at defense by position, Charlotte's going to be ranked really, really bad. They've been missing Plumlee for a huge chunk of the season, and he's back. And from a prop perspective, I got burned on this. I took Pirtle for San Antonio to go over. All of a sudden, Plumlee's there clogging up the lane, and it was worthless. Pirtle was worthless. He didn't play 1 minute in the second quarter. So those are things you got to keep your eye on. I mean, is he going to change the trajectory of the team? No, but he can clog up the lane. He can make life difficult for the other team's center. He's just that big, wide body that can help on just some switches. So it's one of those things that most people would overlook, but I'm taking into consideration here. A couple of props in this one. I look at Nasir Little, under 10.5 points. He's gone under in 5 out of 6 games, 3 straight. He's only taken 5 to 6 shots a game. So when they put this total at 10.5 and he's only taking 5 to 6 shots a game, he's going to have to shoot lights out to get there. And then, of course, with Charlotte, you got to take it over. So Gordon Hayward over 18.5 points, gone over in 3 out of 4. Portland dead last in guarding this position. They give up over 24 points a game to the position. I don't expect them to have another 41-point performance. But 18.5 is well within range. I think this is one you can fire on.
All right, he's liking that one. What do you think here? You like Plumlee to limit Lillard here if he goes off tonight? What do you think here, Tony Mia?
Well, I mean, I think that the Hornets scored 46 points in the first quarter against the Spurs the other night, and now get LaMelo Ball back. And I mean, what Gordon Hayward and Cody Martin did against an NBA team is cartoonish. 9 of 10 from 3-point range. Hayward was 15 of 19 from the field. So maybe one of the good things that has come out of this for Charlotte with both LaMelo and Terry Rozier until recently being in protocols is the fact that guys like Hayward and Kelly Oubre have seen their confidence rise to just really obscene levels in terms of, and Oubre thinks he's Michael Jordan part 2 as is, and is actually straightening out his jump shot to help his cause. So the Hornets might be in a play-on spot here because what we've seen from the Trailblazers, and I don't think it has anything to do with Chauncey Billups. He's been put in a really bad situation where you come in to your star player, essentially teetering on the edge of being in or out. And to his credit, Damian Lillard has said all the right things publicly, except for the fact that he'd probably be better off if C.J. McCollum wasn't there. Said so in not so many words, but wanted a more defensive-minded backcourt partner. And then when the time comes to trade McCollum, he deals with a collapsed lung, and you can't move him now. And you've got a situation where Portland has, over the last 2 weeks, given up 145 points to the Boston Celtics on the heels of scoring 83 against the Spurs. I mean, they've been all over the place in all the wrong places. They did give a nice effort against the Phoenix Suns, only to follow that up in losing to the Grizzlies by 10. And in those games, they closed as a home underdog, and that's just really not a role that they're familiar with. I think the only reason why the Hornets aren't favored just yet is because it's such a weird spot to say, hey, Charlotte's going to go into the road to the Moda Center and beat you. But what haven't we seen on the actual floor to tell us otherwise? So only one way to ride this game, and that's taking the points with Charlotte.
All right, back in the points with Charlotte in this one. That means it is time to hear from the dogs, Robert. Let's see what we got.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, we got some dogs here tonight. Take a look at, including the, shocker, Orlando Magic. But you do have the Denver Nuggets as a 2.5-point dog. Celtics as well. The Spurs, pretty big number on the card there, catching 11.5. The Hornets we just talked about. The Kings, and there they are, the return of the Pelicans in a very familiar dog spot. So, Andy, we'll start with you here, man. Which one of these might you be looking at to make your dog tonight?
I played this one last night, wrote an article for WagerTalk.com on it. I love the Nuggets tonight against the Hawks. Really bad defensive numbers as the season is moving on for Atlanta. Teams are now hitting 70% of their shots at the rim when Clint Capella is in. His defense is regressing. And as many points as Trey scores, he gives up just as many on the other end of the road. On the other end of the court, I looked this up. He ranks 398th in defensive rating out of 481 total players in the NBA. I knew he was bad. I didn't know he was that bad. It looks bad to the eye test, but the numbers back it up. Atlanta only has 3 wins in December. They're not real impressive. Orlando, Minnesota, Indiana, and they're all on the road. I don't know what the explanation is. Atlanta was great at home and terrible on the road to start the season, and now it's flipped. Their last 5 wins have been on the road, but they're 0-5 ATS in their last 5 home games. They've lost all of those outright. Both teams are rested, and with the Hawks struggling at home and struggling on defense, I think Jokic is going to be licking his chops to get a really nice road win. Hawks are favored. Not sure why. I look for a huge game from Jokic and the underdog Nuggets to win straight up on the money line.
All right, there you go. Love it. How about it, Tony Mejia? Where are you going dog-wise tonight?
Well, I really like the Hornets if they're still a dog, so they're definitely one of them. And then what I put in our pre-show Slack, I like the Spurs to cover against Utah. Hopefully we get no COVID issues there, but it's a lot of points. Certainly the Jazz are one of those teams that can, break off a 9-0 run in 30 seconds on you. But the Spurs have really fought hard for Greg Popovich. So from that standpoint, we take the points there. But again, if the Hornets go off as an underdog in Portland, I'm going to replace my puppy dog and get a bigger dog with more teeth, and that's the Charlotte Hornets over the Spurs. But I like them both.
All right, Portland still getting the love there. Lonnie Walker, the only one listed on the injury report for the Spurs. That leaves Kevin Dolan. I know you got a dog here circled somewhere. Where are you going tonight?
Well, as much as I hate to leave the Pelicans and the Magic on the board, I got to agree with Tony here. I like the Spurs catching plus 11.5 as well tonight against Utah. I said in Wednesday's show that I love this Jazz team. I love the way they're playing right now. We got that future on them, as we said. They're absolutely blowing the doors off average scoring margin numbers over the last 4 starts. Only Cleveland are basically, keeping pace with them in that one. But, if you're going to give me double-digit head start here on a team in San Antonio who are averaging the second best defensive efficiency metrics on the road this season, I'll take that every day of the week. So, yeah, San Antonio for me plus the points tonight against Utah. Dog play of the night.
I love it, man. Going with San Antonio. Those are your dogs here on the card. Now it is time to see which one of these games or props do these guys like the best for a best bet. So, Andy Lang, coming to you. Start us off. 60 seconds on the clock. Where are you going here tonight?
PJ Tucker over 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This is a play that is coming straight out of the NBA pack that is up for tonight. Encourage everyone to go get that. We've been on a lights out run in NBA props. We're up 38 units since November 21st. So we're doing really, really well. And this one just jumped off the page. He's really stepped up his stats recently in the absence of Butler and Adebayo. Gone over this total in 3 out of 4. The one game he did not go over this total, he was trying to go up against Joel Embiid. He gave it a good try. He really did. He gave good effort on the defensive end, his offensive stat stuffer, but he's hitting threes, 11 of 19 the last 4 games. And tonight he gets to go up against a Magic team that we've just gone over and how banged up they are. And they are the worst team guarding power forwards. They give up 24 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. He's done good. He's one of those guys you love to have on your team, and you hate it when your team is going up against him. But for tonight, take him over his points, rebounds, and assists.
All right, and we do have some breaking news. The Orlando Magic have signed Aleem Ford, Hassani Gravett, B.J. Johnson, and Admiral Schofield. So there you go. Orlando has got some players here tonight. Oof.
I like my play even more.
Yeah, try to find some props 5%. On those guys there, Andy. All right, Mahia, talk to us. Where are you going here tonight? Best bet.
All right, well, yeah, those guys are all members of the Lakeland Magic, the defending G League champion Lakeland Magic. So they are coming up. I mean, I assume via bus or hopefully a nicer Uber on I-4 traffic, and then they're going to get there in time for the game. I mean, you mentioned them all. Gravett, John Teskey didn't get the call. He's 7-footer from Portland. We played at Michigan. Probably remember Admiral Schofield. He played at Tennessee. Yeah. Those guys are going to be in the rotation. So, yeah, I would go ahead and go with the Miami Heat tonight and lay the points and hope that even though they're low on guys as well, the same team that beat the 76ers the other night will show up and take care of the Magic. So I'm actually going to change my best bet and go with the Heat on that. But the other game that I was actually looking at were the Los Angeles Lakers, and there are a lot of moving parts there. But if they get Russell Westbrook back and Anthony Edwards is indeed out, you got to ride with the Lakers in a must-win spot.
All right. Get the Lakers and get them on. Let's get them done here tonight. Westbrook, in fact, back in. Kendrick Nunn out. Not that makes it in, but I believe Trezor Ariza is going to be in the building in a uniform, which is always exciting, but certainly won't play. Kevin Dolan, talk to us. Where are you going here tonight? What's your best bet, man?
Yeah, I like Milwaukee tonight, Joe, with short road favourites against New Orleans. Can't believe I'm saying that. I love New Orleans, but I really wasn't impressed in Wednesday's win over OKC for the Pelicans. They needed that ridiculous 61-footer to get them over the line in that game. That followed on from getting absolutely blown out by the Spurs in the game prior for them. Easily one of the worst fourth quarter displays you'll see from a team all year. San Antonio rolled them over. So, as beat up as this Milwaukee Bucks team are right now, no Giannis, no Lopez, Chris Middleton still questionable, I believe. They showed a ton of character on Wednesday night's win over the Pacers in a spot that me and Teddy both agreed that we thought they'd fall flat in. So I think the Bucks do win and cover here on the road in New Orleans tonight. Against the Pelican team that, look, they're getting a little bit too much credit for their recent mini 6-5 win and run of late. So it's got to be the Bucks for me minus the points tonight against New Orleans. Best bet.
All right, there you go. They shocked the world last game out, right? No Giannis, no problem there. All right, guys, there you got it. Best bet recap for you, including the Nuggets getting 2.5 from Andy Lang. Not to mention a little sprinkle on the money line. His best bet, though, looking at the Heat, PJ Tucker to go over that 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Tony Mejia likes the Spurs as well as the Hornets getting a few points here tonight. And his best bet, the Miami Heat over the G League Orlando Magic, apparently, because that's who they'll be playing here tonight. And Kevin Dolan, he's going to look at the Spurs catching 11.5 against Utah, but he likes the Milwaukee Bucks to get it done here tonight. And the contrarian play, we're going to take a look at the hobbled Kings getting 7 against the overrated Memphis Grizzlies. And there you got it here, guys. What a hell of a week it has been. And now would be the time for you to head over to WagerTalk.com and take advantage of those 3-day, 7-day, 30-day all-access packages available right now. They include every 5% play from your favorite handicapper. Visit Andy Lang, visit Tony Mejia, Kevin Dolan. Get every one of their plays. Never miss out, guys, right now over at WagerTalk.com. Make sure you hit that bell in the upper right-hand corner as well, guys. You'll get notified every time we go live with one of these shows. But it's going to be a hell of a weekend. Do your homework, guys. Make sure you know who's in, who's out. Stay on top of it. And let's make it a very profitable start to the weekend. And on behalf of Andy Lang, Tony Mejia, and Kevin Dolan, guys, we appreciate you hanging with us. Come back again on Monday. We'll start all over again and do it here for the NBA Tip-Off Show. Best of luck with your plays, guys. We'll talk to you on Monday.
We know this business is loaded with competitors and copycats, and we are very proud and extremely excited to be one of, if not the premier sports betting information provider in North America. From a massive library of free picks and handicapping videos, daily shows, podcasts, and articles, our free live odds service, a team of the nation's finest sports handicappers supported with top-rated customer service, we pride ourselves on being the leaders in our industry, always looking to evolve and stay multiple steps ahead of our competitors. With that being said, we truly do want to let you know we appreciate your patronage. Moving forward, 7-day all-access packages will be reduced from $119 to just $99, and our 30-day all-access packages are also being slashed moving forward, going from $349 to under $10 a day at only $299. Our new pricing is already active and available just by going to your favorite handicapper's homepage right now.